What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 1 Team Builder for the NPBA Season 2 here on the channel. The Hazleton Hoopas are back once again after being unsuccessful last season. We're back and ready to try and take the crown this season. We have a much better team in my opinion, a much more dangerous looking team that I honestly think we can use to take us all the way to the championship very, very easily. But we're not starting off on an easy foot. We are starting off against Jordan, and the coach, who is the coach of the Northwich Castle Zoroarks. And she's got a very, very threatening team. Very, very dangerous, very, very powerful looking. It's not one of the best teams in my opinion, but it's definitely still dangerous. So it's definitely something that I'm currently a bit worried about. But I think with the team that I've sculpted here, we can easily pull out the victory. But before I get into that, before I get into my team, let's talk about hers a little bit. Her team consists of her trademark pick, which was Zoroark, her mascot, her Mega Houndoom, Gliscor, Azumarill, Doublade, Nidoking, Trevenant, Sharpedo, Malamar, Frostlass, Luxray, and Altaria. Now, right off the bat, I see a little bit of a fighting weakness. I see a decent ground and fairy weakness, a little bit of a bug weakness, just like a couple of overall weaknesses across the team. 2 4x weaknesses to ice, which is big deal, very, very big deal. And also a 4x weakness to bug, so that's something I could potentially take advantage of if I get the chance to. Spoilers, I don't really get much of a chance to, but you know, it's definitely there as an option. Outside of that, not too much crazy that stands out on her team. Her only form of hazard removal would be a Hypercutter Defog Gliscor, but Poison Heal is just so much better, so I'd honestly see no reason for her not to run the Poison Heal set. So, by the way, just in case, if you guys hear anything in the background, I am at work. I work the desk in my hall, and basically I just have to buzz people in throughout the night. I work like midnight to 8 a.m., so if anyone comes through, I have to buzz them in. But, if you hear anyone, like, it's probably like the maintenance people or whatever, or like the trash people or custodial staff or whatever, trying to get into, you know, empty out the trash cans and shit throughout the hall. So if you hear anything in the background, that's just, you know, that going on. But just ignore it. It's not really a big deal. Focus more on what's going down here. But yeah. So now that we've talked about her team a little bit, let's talk about mine. And when we talk about mine, we gotta talk about my Mega Spyro, the Mega Charizard Y. Mega Charizard Y, but then start the season off huge, and it's full wall breaker potential with max special attack and a modest nature, throwing a little bit of 16 into that HP to make sure that we have an odd number, so we have an extra number of Stealth Rock switch-ins. Because, spoiler alert, we don't have any form of hazard removal on our team. Isn't that just hilarious? Outside of Defog Mega Charizard Y, we have no hazard removal, so that's going to be something that we have to fix ASAP. I already know how I'm going to fix it, but it's something we have to definitely think about. So, that's something that we're going to have to work with in the future, but for now, we don't have any hazard removal, so odd number of HP it is. As for the moveset, we are rocking Fire Blast, Solar Beam, Hidden Power Ice, and Roost. Also enough speed. With our speed stat, we are going to outspeed a Nidoking, a timid max speed Nidoking by 1 point. I didn't really feel like investing anything extra because obviously the Sharpedo can just protect and get a speed boost. So it will outspeed us regardless, even if we try to outspeed that thing. As well as, you know, not being able to outspeed things like the Zoroark, Mega Houndoom, or Frostlass. And honestly, if she's bringing the Gliscor, she's going to probably bring it in a more defensive role, in my opinion. I just think that fits more useful against my team, I would think. Just like a defensive Gliscor set with Poison Heal would probably do her the best, in my opinion, if she brings it at all. So that's why I don't have to worry about outspeeding that thing either. So this way I could run the Modest Nature, which is really, really cool, because it allows Charizard to basically, like, not really have any switch-ins. Like, in the Sun, I can basically click Fire Blast, and the only thing that switches into the Fire Blast is Azumarill, honestly, though. Like, Sharpedo really doesn't switch into it. Azumarill can. Maybe Altaria if it's, like, really, really specially defensive. Mega Houndoom, it's sketchy. Mega Houndoom's a little sketchy. I don't think it can. I really don't think it can switch in. Especially if it's still regular Houndoom, I don't think it switches in to a Fire Blast in the Sun. So that's kind of crazy. For that Azumarill that does try to switch in, we have a Solar Beam on deck, ready to go. So as soon as the Azumarill comes in, bam, we click Solar Beam, Azumarill's gone, and that's a GG right there. And just for the case of the potential Altaria switching in, we do have the Hidden Power Ice. It's also there for the Gliscor, but Gliscor's not taking a Solar Beam or a Fire Blast from a Mega Charizard Y very nicely, so it's not really a switch in. I mean, if they get the free switch, that's fine. We can just click Hidden Power Ice either way and kill off the Gliscor. And then obviously we're packing the Roost, so that any damage we do take, we can just roost it right off. If we force a switch or something, we can go for the Roost and get that HP back and be good to go. Overall, this Charizard set is just going to come in, click a move, and just break down Jordan's team. Jordan's team is not taking these hits, man. Charizard honestly just tears her team down, honestly, though. Literally, just her whole team just blown away by this thing. It's crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Honestly, Mega Charizard Y is just terrifying. That's the main word for it. Like, one of her bulkiest mons is weak to it as well, in the form of Eviolite Doublade. Yeah, like, with that being like one of her bulkiest mons, and us just being able to like one-shot it, like I'm 99.9% positive, like even if it's like fully specially defensive, in the Sun, a Fire Blast will one-shot it. It is just a Doublade at the end of the day. But yeah, Mega Charizard Y is gonna like shit all over her team essentially. That's kind of the goal. Spyro is gonna like come in, run through her team, and be done with it. This is pretty nice. If, obviously, because Charizard can't just do this all alone, Charizard gotta bring some friends. Spyro's gotta bring his pals. So, in order to bring a little bit of a sandier approach, we are bringing Tommy the Tyranitar, rocking a fully specially defensive Calm Nature set with the Chople Berry. Weaken that fighting type moves. This is actually kind of there more so for a potential Focus Blast from the Zoroark. Could catch me off guard if it wants to. She wants to pull some silly shit. And there's a couple other mons on her team that could also be packing a fighting type move that could benefit us, especially if it's a physical one, because you know our physical defense is not being boosted by anything. So you know, a special one is a lot easier to take in this case than a physical one. But we're rocking a moveset of Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Focus Blast. So we have these Stealth Rocks. Again, like I said before, her only form of hazard removal would be Hyper Cutter, Default Gliscor. That ain't gonna work out all that well for her, so I don't see that coming. So she literally has nothing else that can remove hazards. So if I can get Stealth Rocks up, they're staying up, and they're gonna hurt her team badly. So that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. So the Ice Beam is there for the Gliscor, for the Altaria. Neither one of them want to take an Ice Beam from this thing, and with us being like very, very defensive, we can pretty much take any hits from them that we need to, and then just kill it off with an Ice Beam. Earth Power is there for the Doublade, the Nidoking, the Luxray especially. Luxray especially because with Luxray having the potential to have Intimidate, I didn't want to have Earthquake, because, you know, if it gets an Intimidate off on us, it's going to fuck us over really bad. So we don't really want to deal with that. So Earth Power is our best bet against the Luxray. Even though we do still have more attack than we do special attack, even if we were to run like not a calm nature, like an attack lowering nature, we'd still have more. We would have more attack. It would end up being lower due to the Intimidate, so the Earth Power would still always do more against the Luxray. So it's just a better bet. And then we have the Focus Blast for things like the Zoroark and the Mega Houndoom, which do not want to take a Focus Blast from us. Essentially, the situation I've already thought of in my head, Zoroark comes in, tries to go for a Focus Blast against our Tyranitar. Tyranitar noms on his Chople Berry, swallows that bitch up, takes the Focus Blast like a champion, fires off a Focus Blast baton, and down goes the Zoroark, and it disappears forever. Which is essentially the situation I've already seen in my head. It could happen, could not, I don't know. But a Chople Berry is probably one of the best things for a Tyranitar, because we already know, since we have a Tyranitar, we're going to see fighting type moves. And honestly, we need the Chople for this thing. We need this thing to live a little bit. At least get the Stealth Rocks up. As long as this thing gets Stealth Rocks up, it's done its job. If it can kill one or two things with these moveset, that'd be even better. But this thing's gonna eat a lot of hits, thanks to the sand boosting its special defense, plus, you know, being very specially defensive as is. It'd be pretty dope. To couple with that sand, we brought ourselves a little bit of a sand sweeper in the form of Bellabuster the Stoutland, holding the Life Orb with Sand Rush ability, rocking 168 speed, which is just enough speed, and this is very, very specific. This is just enough speed to outspeed a Jolly +1 Sharpedo. So if Sharpedo gets a +1 with speed boost, it doesn't matter. If we're in the sand, we will still outspeed it. And then Oko it with Play Rough. We have Return, coupled with an Adamant Nature and Life Orb. Return pretty much tears through Jordan's entire team outside of the Doublade and the Trevenant, because and the Frostlass, of course, because they're the only ones that like are immune. They're like immune to it. We do have the Crunch for those as well, so Crunch will take those down very, very nicely. We're packing the Ice Fang for the Gliscor and the Altaria, just so we can take advantage of that 4x weakness. And then we're packing the Play Rough for the Malamar, because we really don't have anything to hit the Malamar with at this point. So Play Rough is pretty much necessary. It'll also hit like things like the Zoroark and such, so it's kind of helpful. But really, essentially, this thing can just click Return in a lot of cases and blow something away, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much the plan with Bellabuster. Bellabuster's just going to come in and fuck shit up in the sand. Like, even if I just sack Tommy off, get the sand up, and just throw Bellabuster on the field, it's all I need to do. It's all I need to do. Bellabuster can just do all this kind of work on its own. Can really just make Jordan's entire team just wish it didn't exist. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of scary. Bellabuster's a monster, man. Bellabuster's just absolutely crazy. So, yeah, that's going to be the plan with Bellabuster. Just bring it in underneath sand and fuck shit up. If that plan doesn't work, then we basically sack Spyro, get the sun on the field, sack Spyro in some way, get the sun on the field, or we just bring Spyro and get the sun on the field and make a quick switch back out into Basilisk, the Choice Scarf Solar Power Heliolisk. This thing is absolutely, bar none, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Solar Power, basically, what Solar Power does, for those of you laymen who don't truly understand, who don't understand, basically Solar Power is like a Life Orb and a Choice Specs had a baby. That's what came out of it. Because it has the same power boost as a Choice Specs, but like a slightly bigger damaging to ourselves. It's like 1/8 your HP, basically. So that's obviously we have an odd number of HP, so we can have more solar power hits, I guess. But we're gonna max special attack and just enough speed with a timid nature to outspeed a what was the thing that I needed to outspeed? This thing does outspeed a Zoroark. Does this thing actually go down to 340 speed? Do I need this extra 4 here? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. So yeah, just no speed to outspeed the Zoroark. At that point, we outspeed the entire team, which is kind of dope. I mean, outside of Frostlass, but Frostlass, you know, if it's Scarfed, it's Scarfed. If it's not, it's not. Not really a big deal. We have the Volt Switch. Volt Switch is going to be key throughout the matchup, just to keep some momentum going. Obviously, Jordan has the Gliscor / the Nidoking as switch-ins, which is cool and all, so it's like whatever. Yeah, she's got those as switch-ins that can take a Volt, that are immune to the Volt Switch. That's fine. We have the Hidden Power Ice for those if they want to try to switch in on me. We have the HP Ice, which is a 2-hit KO, if not OHKO, on both. Also, the HP Ice will OHKO the Altaria. Most spreads of Altaria don't take it. We also have the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is there for the Doublade, because Doublade pretty much takes any other hit from this thing and laughs about it. But it'll hit the Doublade, it'll hit the Trevenant, it'll hit the Frostlass pretty hard. Not too much to say. This thing is, we have our Sand Sweeper and we have a Sun Sweeper. So either way, these mons can pretty much come in at any point during their respective weathers and do insane amounts of damage. Also, we do have the Hyper Voice outside of the Doublade, Trevenant, and Frostlass. Basically, the entire team just gets bowled over by Heliolisk's Hyper Voices. It's kind of crazy. Heliolisk just does not get stopped. This thing's just absolutely insane. But yeah, that's gonna be Basilisk for you. Next up, we need to get some more bulk on the squad, so we're scooping up Kelly the Garbodor. Kelly is amazing. Kelly is amazing. Make sure that this thing's a shiny, this thing's a female. Gotta make sure that that's very specific. We're gonna hold that Black Sludge. Black Sludge is gonna help give us some little bit of recovery. We have the Aftermath just in case something wants to hit us with a physical move, something that makes contact, wants to hit us in the face and take us out. Watch that 25% drop. Since her only form of hazard removal is the Gliscor, is the Gliscor if it's running Hyper Cutter. We're gonna go ahead and run the Toxic Spikes and Spikes on the Garbodor. Anytime this thing wants to come in, it can either click Toxic Spikes or Spikes, get some more hazard set up. Obviously, the Toxic Spikes are less important because there is the Nidoking lurking around that can easily just come in and be all like, "Ayo, Toxic Spikes absorbed, get this shit out of here." The Spikes are definitely more important, but if I can get a layer of Toxic Spikes up there, if she doesn't bring the Nidoking for some reason, I'm good to go. And then her whole team's just gonna get poisoned and shit, and it'll be great, it'll be fantastic, and you just whittle the team down even more. We were packing the Gunk Shot for the Azumarill, and just for stab purposes, because even though Garbodor isn't all that great, Garbodor is still going to hit very, very hard with the Gunk Shot. I mean, it's a base 120 power attack stab. It's going to hurt. Base 95 attack, even without investment, it's still going to hurt a lot of things. And then we are also packing the Drain Punch for things like the Zoroark and the Mega Houndoom and the Sharpedo. We can take hits from those things. The Mega Houndoom we can take at least one hit from. Hit that bitch with a Drain Punch. It's lights out. I mean, it's not lights out. It's not going to kill. But it'll do a decent amount of damage and give us back some HP. allow us a chance to switch out into something that can take a hit from the Mega Houndoom even better. Speaking of taking a hit from Mega Houndoom better, what better to take it than Palindroma, the Alomamola. I changed the name a little bit to Palindroma because I just thought it sounded a little bit cooler based upon the fact that it's an Alomamola. This set's kind of interesting. Obviously, I don't really need to put very much HP investment into this thing because it already has retardedly sky-high HP. So I decided to go max special defense, max defense, calm nature. This way, we can take hits from both sides very, very nicely. Through the last 4 in a special attack just for the why nots, the shits and the giggles. We're running Scald, which with stab and everything will do decent damage to the Gliscor and the Nidoking. And the, who else is weak to this shit? Mega Houndoom. Yet none of them want to appreciate it. We're packing the knockoff even though we're lowering our attack, it doesn't matter. Knockoff is still going to do an okay amount of damage to things like the Trevenant and the Doublade. And it'll be key to getting the Eviolite off the Doublade. Because, you know, Eviolites aren't fun. And items aren't fun on things, so we don't want items on things. So yeah, there's that. We have the Wish, so that we can get a Wish off or something and get some HP back. We have Toxic for switch-ins. The only things that can switch into a Toxic are the Nidoking and Doublade. Other than that, anything switches in on a Toxic, it's going to hurt it a lot. And it's going to suck to be them. So hopefully, that'll work out for us. We have the Regenerator, so this thing pretty much will live forever. If I honestly can pull it off, I think this thing can pretty much just live for like the entirety of its existence. And yeah. That's pretty much going to be the team for week 1. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And stick around to support your Hazleton Hoopas as we try to gain the championship crown here in the NPBA's Season 2. Please stick around, guys. This is going to be one hell of a season. The matches are going to be just as intense, if not more intense. So this is going to be a hell of a season now. I'm happy to have you guys around with me. But with that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.